Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It's me, Joey P, Joe P Zapia, and with me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you hanging out here, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, talking baseball. We got another injury in the Phillies rotation we're going to get to today. Yikes, that's not good. And of course, it wouldn't be a baseball season without a Corey Seager injury. But Welsh, I think we got to start at the top, which is the Padres, Michael Calley's Padres, the class of baseball at the tippy top of the West, and Nick Pivetta, arguably the best guy in the rotation. Are we in the upside down?
Well, I mean, Michael King is still there, but to your point, actually more to your credit, Nick Pivetta, I looked at some of the early Cy Young stuff that's going out there. Nick Pivetta is in that top 3, I think, for Cy Young awards in the NL. Still crazy early, but total benefit later in fantasy drafts that you got. Big strikeouts, ERA super low. Expected ERA is under 3. He looks phenomenal. Good 1-2 punch of Michael King and him. And Pivetta, it's kind of a question, though. Is Pivetta is in that trade market? He falls under the lines for me of one of those dudes that's like, what would you get that's worth trading him instead of holding on? So I don't know. Where do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think it's Rick Porcello. I don't think we're there. So Rick Porcello had a lot of issues, the low K rate, all of those things. Actually, Welsh, I'm looking on FanDuel right now, and Pivetta is plus 3,400 for NL Cy Young. So,
I just saw, you know what it was? I don't think it was the betting market. I think it was like the actual market of early Cy Young favorites. And Nick Pivetta is in that like top 5 in the NL right now, which is very skewed. You know, that whole market is skewed when you look at real baseball. But Pivetta, I think it's a long run. I'm personally probably not betting it, but from a fantasy perspective, he's great. So like I said, where are you at on that? Do you think the juice is worth the squeeze, or you just hold for Pivetta?
Look, is he going to have a 1.20 ERA the rest of the season? Probably not. He gave up just a pair of singles over 7 innings, shutout innings, by the way, against the Tigers. He's 4-1. Strikeout rate's been good. Everything's been great for Pivetta. I think this is one of those instances where you drafted him late. He is such a win for you. You just ride the wave because probably nobody's going to overpay. Nobody's going to give crazy value to you. So he's most valuable to the team that took a shot on him late. And now it's something where we might look back and say Nick Pivetta could be a league winner. Also the league winner, whoever is our 100th sub today, because we are very close to number 100. So now is the time. Subscribe. We just need one more. We're here on twitch.tv/fantasypros every single day, Monday through Friday at noon. Today, you get bonus on our YouTube channel. We're going to be live there, too, for the Q&A, taking your questions at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you don't have a question answered today, don't worry. You got a second chance on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 30,000 subs on there. And, of course, we're trying to get to someday be the biggest YouTube channel in the history of baseball. And I think we can do it. I think we've got the team to do it here. Let's talk about some bounce backs, some guys that are showing some signs of life, and patience might just be rewarded. Dylan Cruz, 3rd home run on Tuesday off Dean Kremer because, well, the Orioles pitching staff sucks. Now, he's still hitting a $198, but if you look at the Savant page, Welsh, 287 expected batting average, a 495 expected slug. I know some of these numbers came recently when he started to uptick against the Rockies, but still, it looks like a good upward trajectory for Dylan Cruz right now.
Yeah, I think actually you might have undersold him a little bit. It's a 285 expected batting average, unless you said that and I just misheard it. But a 285,
I think I said 287. So
did you? Okay, yeah. I'm just
him by
I'm picking nits then a little bit, but yeah, great barrel percentage. He's hitting the ball harder than he did last year.
Hold on, number 100. We got it, Stoney. Way to go. Thanks, Stoney. There you go. Go ahead. Now you can talk about Dylan Cruz.
Our boy Stoney in there, and then our boy Leifer giving out. Leifer, the leader of the pack in gifted subs. Shout out to you guys for doing that. Hitting 100. Bam, bam. Thank you.
Nice.
Getting back to whoever. Oh, yeah, Dylan Cruz. Great barrel, hitting the ball hard. Expected batting average is way up. He's lowered the strikeout rate, which was key. All this is just coming back to is like a testament to rookies and how long they can sometimes take. It's also investment stuff. Like we got to the point a week ago where it's like a 10-man leagues, maybe you could move off, but it's like the talent kind of battles through and he's going to get those leadoff opportunities. It would be really, we're seeing the stolen bases go up. It's going to be nice if that continues to go. We're kind of back into that draft capital where I was putting him on that pedestal of like, hey, listen, you got to draft him. He's a great outfielder, 3 or 4. but you got to have some patience with your fantasy players,
Yeah.
or you've got to figure out how you can do roster construction where if you invested a top 100-ish pick on a player, that you can give them roughly 3 weeks. And that's what you needed to do with Dylan Cruz. You can. I think 10-man leagues are the ones that probably would have kind of suffered from it at the end of the day. This is really
it's funny you say the 10-man because in our Fantasy Pros 10-man league, 10-person league, because we've got our female employees in there as well, 10-person league. We have Dylan Cruz on the waiver wire, and guess who picked him up this morning? This guy.
Ooh, he was available.
He was available on the waiver wire, and I said, you know what? Let's pick up Dylan Cruz and see where it goes from here. So in those shallower leagues, guys might be available. Also, Triston Casas, he had a good day yesterday. 3-run homer for him against the Mariners. Gotta love those Mariners. When are the Mariners ever going to be consistently good? I feel bad for the Mariner fans. I feel like they've been teased over the years with these little sporadic moments where it's like, okay, maybe the Mariners can do it. Maybe this is the year. I don't know, man. It's tough to be a Mariner fan. Tanner Bibee held the Yankees down to 2 runs over 6 innings. Now, yesterday we were talking about being afraid to start him. If you started him, you got rewarded.
Well, I said to start him. You were afraid to start him.
I was afraid. I was terrified. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified.
But you had me by your side.
Bibee, yeah, no. I did. I had you by my side, so it worked out. Fastball mile per hour was up though, 95.5. I was up by almost a full mile per hour. That's also a good sign for Bibee. So you buying in now that people can stop panicking about Tanner Bibee?
Yeah, I mean, I think the panic still exists, but it was a really good performance. He's giving up way too much contact. 13% barrel rate. That's one of the worst out there. Low strikeouts. Expected ERA came down a tiny bit. That was a good start to it. So if he's available in 10-man leagues, which I know some people were cutting, you could definitely pick him up. I'm not sure if he's still like a buy for me. You know, Ober and Bibee weren't like my guys, and they've had like early struggles but if people are completely out, there might not be like a horrible opportunity. And by the way, shout out to our boy McTunda, 5 gifted subs. We're over 100. Just you guys hanging out and following us on Twitch, you can get those free gifted subs by these guys. And now McTunda is at the tippy top of the board for our gifted. So shout out to this awesome Twitch crew.
McTunda's good people. We talk to him on our Discord all the time. Let's get to Magnum's question. Hey, FP's longtime listener, first time liver. That's what we love. We love the first time livers here. 10-team head-to-head OBP Cats. I drafted Vlad, picked up Aranda, Manzardo, and Kurtz, but need a shortstop. Should I deal Vlad for a premium shortstop or try to deal someone else as a package? I think what you do here, to be honest with you, I would keep Vlad because that's the proven asset. I think Manzardo has some interesting trade value, and I think Kurtz's value is very high right now. And you don't need Kurtz if you have Vlad. It's not that I don't like Kurtz. I'm a big Kurtz fan, but we don't know what he's going to do at the major league level. Right now, today, it's Nick Kurtz Day, everybody. So happy Nick Kurtz
I know.
Day.
He didn't do it on the birthday. That was lame.
I know. He didn't do it on the birthday. It was kind of lame. But I think you can get more for the expectations and the projectability of Nick Kurtz, and then you might realize that's the route I would take first. Well,
I would agree with that. The only thing is I don't agree that Kyle Manzardo has good trade value, right? I think he's the lowest of all of them. I think Aranda has incredible trade value, but I keep being like, I want to trade Aranda, and then I look at his profile and I'm like, good Lord. Like, I don't know if you can, but Kurtz's trade value in that situation would probably be the best. Can I put in a question? I wanted to do this with Cruz, but you just went right past it. Someone had said, I thought this was a really good question by Laser and Blazer, Luis Roberts or Dylan Cruz at this point, because we're still they're both in this buy low territory, but Cruz is the one that's pulling around. I don't know if Callie or you guys can pull it up, but Laser's question: Roberts or Cruz?
You know, maybe I'm just a sucker here, but I still say Robert. But I feel I'm worried about that. And we had another Robert question here. Someone dropped Luis Robert in my league. Do I pick him up? I already have Butler, Castellanos, Churio, Judge, Woods. You don't need him. Utility spot is Schwarber, so there's no room at the inn. But as an asset, I'd want to add him. I think you look at it this way. I think Robert, I still think he finds his way back there. He just has no lineup protection there at all. That's a huge problem. And
well, it's going to get rectified. I would rather have Robert.
I would rather have Robert
long term than Castellanos. So,
but would you rather have Robert or Cruz? You'd rather have Cruz?
I think I would rather have Cruz right now, because one of the big boosts of Robert is that he's going to get some stolen bases and blah, blah, blah. But Dylan Cruz, I think, can hit for a higher average, and he's showing that in his expected. It's in the 280s. He's stealing bases. He's hitting homers. He's going to score runs. the pendulum might swing a little bit if Robert were to be traded to like a Braves team and we're like, oh my God, he's at, 5 for the Braves and there's all these guys or whatever it is, the Dodgers. I would just want both of those guys. Like it's too early. Cruz is a good like litmus test of it's a little too early to just completely cut bait here. And I think cutting bait on Robert is not my bag. I would find a way to get him on the bench. If he's available, I'm picking him up. I'm not trying to trade him away for nothing. And I would love to buy him for absolutely nothing.
Stoney said Gavin Williams was dropped in a 12-team Roto League. Why? Should I let Tyler Anderson pitch tomorrow, then drop him for Gavin Williams? No, I would just go pick up Gavin Williams now before someone else does. I ain't waiting. I ain't waiting. Besides some of those signs of life, also Marcus Semien, 2 for 3 with a homer, 4 ribbies. Got dropped in the orders in a 5 spot, and it worked. Jake Berger hit a home run. Signs of life. The antidote, Welsh, is just get to the Sacramento ballpark. Get the Sacramento. Wyatt Langford returned 3 for 4. Good day for him as well. So all of a sudden, signs of life for that Ranger lineup.
And shout out to the plus money first 5 play of the Texas Rangers yesterday, backing Patrick Corbin I had, and all these dudes just started bang, bang, bang going. And this is a little test or testament to some of those underlying metrics that we're looking at, and then expected stats, and combining those and being like, hey, listen, Adolis Garcia early on was a buy. Marcus Semien, Jake Berger starting to kind of come back. Both of those guys were pretty like easy, clear buys, and they're just starting. Berger's a little rougher around the edges right now, but they're starting to get going.
Kris Bubic had a royal pain because he was awesome yesterday. Tough luck, no decision against the Rockies. Tuesday night, he had 6 strikeouts, 7 innings, 0 runs. His ERA is now at 1.45, which is, of course, not sustainable. The 1.06 whip, 33 strikeouts, just 9 walks over 31 innings. But Carlos Estevez blew the 2nd save of the season. So keep an eye on that situation. Also, keep an eye on those New York Mets who just beat the Phillies again. Somebody's in your kitchen, Philadelphia. Somebody's going to have to go to Wawa and get some iced tea and some hoagies and cry a little bit and get over this, because all of a sudden, the Mets just kind of own the Phillies lately after the playoffs. I don't know, man. They look kind of shook. It's crazy. Griffin Canning, good start for him. His ERA is down to 3.12 on the year. He's 3-1 on the season. Also in bullpen news, now Cade Smith pitched yesterday again in a save situation. Now I understand Class A threw a lot of pitches, but this is now 2 in a row, Welsh. Are you surprised we got 2 Cade Smith appearances in that closer role? Or is it just still, he threw 30 pitches, we're getting him a couple days off?
Well, I mean, I know you're the very anti. I got some texts about that. Some people being like Joey was very like, hey, it's April 22nd. Class A is not good. Should we be freaking out? Absolutely not.
I never said that. I'm like Roddy Piper. I ask the questions here on Piper's Pit. That's all I do. Okay. Everybody else can fill in the blanks however they want.
They said they wanted to give him back-to-back days off. It just so happened to be that there were save opportunities in both of those. He's a little banged up. There's a little shoulder discomfort. None of that's great. So, but again, like, what's the application? Is it to go and trade Class A right now and get out of the market?
No. But I think if you were in a 15-team league and Cade Smith is on the waiver wire, you add him.
Sure.
Especially that shoulder issue.
Speculative save market, you should have made an investment on Will Vest, who just got a couple saves. You should be looking at Lucas Urseg after Carlos Estevez. You should be like heavy in the market of who got a save and who's on the precipice, and is anyone else struggling? Cade Smith 100% would belong to that. But it's like, who are you throwing out? Who are you getting rid of to pick up Cade?
I'm so proud of our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks because the YouTube comments were full of Simpsons references yesterday. So thank you for supporting the show. We love you very much. This isn't on the show sheet, but I was just reading about this. I don't know if you saw this because we didn't mention it yesterday, but the whole Ronald Acuna snicker stuff, how that's kind of in a bad spot. Did you see the Frank Core comments? Did you see those?
No, I only saw the tweet from Acuna. What did Frank Core do?
So Jeff Francoeur said, I'm paraphrasing, semi-quoting, but basically was, we won a World Series without Ronald Acuna, so it's not like you need Ronald Acuna to win. And I just went, yikes. I don't know if that's what I want coming out of my mouth right now. I don't think that's a smart thing to say. On that team, I want to say Freddie Freeman was still on that team, though, and a few other guys that aren't there. Max Fried. Those guys are all gone now. Just want to say.
I don't know. But that's a player thing. That's a super player thing. Like, players get sick of players that want to suck up all this space. Like, that doesn't actually really surprise me.
Well, I think Ronald Acuna's point is, if I did what Kelenic did, I would have gotten benched, and I think he's right.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
So-
Jeff Francoeur probably doesn't have a relationship at all with Acuna, and when that happens, these guys are very comfortable trashing and breaking down and tearing down any of the players that they might perceive as being different than how they would approach the game. So Jeff Francoeur.
Here's a question here. Van Rod, trade Burns for Sale straight up. You want to take this move? What do you want rest of season? I want Sale.
Yeah, I do too. I like Burns, and I kind of think buying Burns is a good opportunity. But if Burns will get you Sale, do it.
Yeah. Else here, I got offered a trade Skeens and I assume James Wood, not James Woods, is who you're talking. Why does everyone always put Woods? Why?
Piece of
Why do
candy.
we do this all the time?
Piece of candy.
For Gore and Jordan Alvarez. Which side of this do you want? This is a major trade here.
I mean, I so easily want the Skeens and James Wood side, or James Wood.
Well, just James Wood. You don't want the James Wood sign. I would say this too. I've gotten more questions the last 24 hours about Jordan Alvarez than anybody. Like just people peppering me, which means he should be somebody you're kicking the tires on right now. People are going crazy.
It's all panic. Like everyone's just like losing their mind because he's hitting 213.
Complete and utter panic. Which brings us, of course, to a moment where we remind you not to panic because we're here to help you with all the tools at Fantasy Pros. And if you want to manage all your baseball lineups for fantasy and dominate, or your baseball, or your Twitter book, or your Insta Talk, any of those things, you can manage all of them with My Playbook from Fantasy Pros. My Playbook is the super powerful suite of tools that help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your league. So import your team, sync your leagues for free, and get custom fantasy baseball news, rankings, and analysis. Sync your leagues today at fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook, or just download the app, silly, at Fantasy Pros My Playbook app for MLB. All right, let's get to the rookie lookie. Nick Kurtz did not play yesterday. Boo. It was against a lefty, so I don't know if that was I don't know what was going on there.
They did say this
thing, right?
Yeah. So here's what it was. There's two pieces of information we got out of this. A, they said they didn't want to play him because they wanted him to get acclimated. So they wanted him to be in the majors. They wanted him to acclimate to the team, acclimate to the atmosphere. But people were like, but it's a lefty. But here's what they said. They said he will not be a platoon player. They already told us he will be an everyday player.
And,
it had nothing to do with Corbin.
Superhero now.
No, it literally had to do with just acclimation of. You brought up. He was drafted less than a year ago.
But bro, what is this? Orientation day?
I think they treated it like that. Yes.
Is he get some free snacks? Is the charcuterie board out? It's orientation day. You get some free stuff. You know, take a tour. Take a tour of the batting cages. You know, maybe meet and greet a little bit. You know, get some autographs signed.
Are you offended
this is
by him?
Professional baseball.
Yeah, and they wanted him to like learn how to. He doesn't know how to be a professional.
So in one day is all it took. That one day off is all it's going to take. Now,
maybe
now it's all good.
Maybe. I mean, it also was a lefty. Like they're going to talk out of both sides of their mouth. So it's like we're not going to sit him against lefties. And it's like, well, it is a veteran lefty who's starting here against the Rangers. Let him sit.
Wait, bring back Todd's comment, please. I want to read it again. Kurt's waiting for his orange slices. Yes, that's exactly what's happening here. Hey, Nicky, I don't want you to be scared of all the big ballpark and all the people. They're your friends, Nicky. They're here to cheer for you. It's going to be a fun day. Come on. I think today he's going to get his rug out. He's going to sit there, and Brent Rooker's going to have story time for him. It's going to be awesome. You're professional baseball players. Could you imagine the coddling in the 80s if this is happening? I mean, what? Boy, I'm old man yelling.
That's super. You're on just an old man rant right now. Like back in my day, they had torpedo bats. What are you talking about?
We haven't done this once all year, but this is. Hey, what the hell's going on here? I don't understand. Wait, first day at school, you gotta take it easy on everybody. Oh, hey, I heard Nick Kurtz like the crust cut off of his sandwiches. That's what I hear. Oh, you want a juice box? Huh? Yeah, get out there and you play, Nick Kurtz. That's what you do. You go out there and you play. What is this? Real men eat the crusts off their sandwiches. You bum. You bum is a big one. Old people love saying you bum. My grandfather used to call people bums all the time. I love it.
That's
Can we bring that back?
It's offensive
to bums, but do they have internet? Probably not. All right, let's get to more rookie lookies. Augustine Ramirez, another good day for him. 3 for 3, RBI double, a walk. So he hit cleanup yesterday, Welsh. Exciting stuff there.
I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. We're not going to victory lap. We're not victory lapping, of course, but we can definitely do a little I told you so. You should be paying attention when we talked about him a couple weeks ago. It looks great early on. Things are going to come back down, but he's what did I say? He does well. He hits the ball really hard in the minors. He's hit it pretty consistently.
I watched him yesterday.
Yeah, so things are going to come back down a little bit, but you're seeing he tried to steal another base. He got caught, but he's aggressive on the base paths. He's showing some real big power. He actually might push a little bit for like a 15-man single catcher at this point. Like you're kind of making a big investment.
I think definitely.
But if you're like on the bottom end of catchers, like guess what? I would probably be comfortable dropping a Gabby Moreno who doesn't do anything.
Wells for him, your boy who's hitting.
Yeah, I've literally seen that question like 6 times to me.
Well, now
I probably would not. But like I get it. And someone said Francisco Alvarez or Ramirez. Alvarez is coming back on Friday. I'd rather have him, of course.
That's not even close, man. That guy was I think people somehow forget because last year was kind of underwhelming how good of a hitting prospect Francisco Alvarez was in the minor league.
Just loves to get hurt. His favorite thing.
Well,
back in my day, I wish I had some glasses. Oh, I do. Back in my
day, Mantle played with one leg. I remember it. He ran into a sprinkler, and next thing you know, he was legless. And he put 3 for 4 that day.
They all played the games. They got out there. They had the broken leg. We'd tape it on, and they get out there and they play, and they shoot up some steroids. They'd have a beer and some fried chicken in the dugout.
Are you like an old Southern man? I feel like you're like old Southern. You had
a great
weird
time.
Twang. It's like or Western. You're like a Western character there. Cookie Chubbs. I ended up in a spot where I have too many bats. Okay, that's a problem. What starting pitcher do you think I could move on from for them? Which do you move? So you got Vinny P, Berger, and Kurtz and Manzardo. Well, Vinny P has not been good. Berger's value is at an all-time low. Manzardo's been good. I think Manzardo's value is higher than Welsh, but we disagree on that. And then Kurtz obviously is the chip. That's the chip right now. I think Vinny Pasquantino has some buy low appeal to some other people, though. That I would say.
Yeah, this is probably ends up being one of those. You got to see what the offers are. Manzardo probably got a kick to the curb. I don't think he does much. I don't think Berger gets you much. So it's probably Vinny P, Kurtz, see what it looks like. And you know what? It might all suck. And maybe you should wait a little bit. But as me and Joe were saying, like probably Kurtz is at that all-time high right now. Until he's, well, I don't know. He's getting coddled. So maybe you're going to be like Joe and not be super into him, but see what the offer looks like and see if someone will massively overpay. Otherwise, I probably would wait it out a tiny bit because I think Vinny will bounce back in like 2 weeks. You might have 3 really sought after first basemen, and that gives you a little bit more little trade equity.
Good point. Chandler Simpson went 2 for 4 with a stolen base. Ching. That was the big bet yesterday here on the program. Red Sox, and you get plus money on today. More to come. Stay with us. Red Sox prospect Marcelo Mayer, not to be confused with Mike Mayer. One is great. The other,
or Max Mayer.
So much. Or Max Meyer, or any of those guys.
Yeah.
So another 2-run homer for him. The Orioles manager Brandon Hyde said Brandon Young, whose name I screwed up on the show the other day, is a candidate to start again this weekend. I told you he's coming up again. So if you're looking for streaming starters, maybe Brandon Young is a guy to look at. Jack Caglione had 2 hits off Clayton Kershaw. I thought that was noteworthy. I wanted to bring this up because I saw they were running that on MLB Network, Kershaw's little rehab start. And I said, oh, Jack Caglione, tough left-handed pitcher, guy's going to the Hall of Fame. Sure, he's not what he was. He's on a rehab start. But still, could he hit the ball off him? The answer is yes. Yes, he can.
Crushed a double, too. Crushed a double off the lefty. It looked really, really good. I am so impressed year over year because I've had so many different looks at Cags and how the bat is progressing and all the stuff that came with just the bad approach. And it really looks like a different player with some of the biggest power in all of the minors and the majors. Just he's going to be so exciting when he's up. I just don't know if it's this year.
I think it might be the end of the year into the playoffs, maybe. But I'm with you. But you know me, I'm a Caglione guy. Jacob Mizrowski had 8 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings. So again, that Brewers rotation is going to get real good, real fast over the next couple of years. And Padres shortstop was not debuting anytime soon, but he's one of the best prospects in baseball. Had a 5 for 5 night with 2 homers, 8 RBI. Leo DeVries, who
the cycle. He hit for the cycle in that game.
Too?
8 RBI cycle he hit in that game. It was one of the most impressive performances. And I'd actually tweeted out after he hit the homer because this is another one of those guys who, since day one, been out there watching him. And he's got this just really good kind of like whippy approach, but he's starting to get the ball in the air. So he's starting to find a level of comfort where he is lifting the ball. He started doing that in the AFL. And I just noted that. And then it was like after that, it was triple. or I think he ended with the triple, but he had the double, the single. He might have even hit another homer. 8 RBIs. One of the most exciting prospects out there from a dynasty perspective. I've had him top 10, even though he's super young. He's getting the fast track, kind of like Ethan Salas. Both those guys, they're going to be on watch.
Padres are in a good spot, man.
Not to next year, unfortunately, because like the Padres are almost going to sell off in the preseason. They're going to sell off Arise and they're going to sell off Cease. Now they're just the best team in baseball. So I don't know what that looks like for them, but you should own Leo DeVries in definitely any type of dynasty with minor leagues.
All right, let's move on from the rookie to the 3 up and the 3 down here. Christian Yelich 2 for 5 with a grand slam. Good night for him. Ian Happ 4 for 5. With a walk-off RBI single to beat the Dodgers in an 11-10 game. Yowza. 21 runs in that one, so I think it hit the over. And then Aaron Judge, 4 for 4 with a double and a run scored against Cleveland yesterday. The downs, Jordan Hicks got pounded for 6 runs, 5 earned. Did have 5 strikeouts, but it was a bad day for him against the Brew Crew. Osvaldo, Bido, 8 runs, 2 strikeouts, and 5 1/3. Not good for him. And Dustin May got lit up there. 7 runs, 10 hits over 5 innings. Which of the bad was the worst for you, Welsh, yesterday?
Oh, Dustin May. Like, I purposely bet against Bido. Jordan Hicks, I've been against, and then I did this stream where I kind of looked at some stuff like, oh, this is interesting, and then just bang, bang, bang. It's Dustin May. The Dustin May one is pretty rough because, we've held him in a really high regard. Even when we talked about guys like Casey Mize, this is a blip. It's probably, if anything, what you take this as with Dustin May is like, all right, let's pay attention moving forward, but I'm going to treat it as just a blip.
The trade video, by the way, is also available right now on the YouTube channel, so go watch that. We'll be doing the waiver wire video tomorrow. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay ahead of all your friends and enemies and frenemies in all of your leagues, especially when it comes to injuries, too, because that'll ruin a season for you. Christopher Sanchez was removed Tuesday against the Mets. I watched part of this start. We got home from football practice, and I flipped on the game, and he was at 57 pitches in the second inning, and I was like, geez, that doesn't look like the Christopher Sanchez I know. And he was definitely laboring, so that's not good. The velocity was down yesterday. Now, the good news is Ranger Suarez is in a spot where he had 5 scoreless innings yesterday in a minor league rehab start, so they're actually lined up properly. So, Welsh, I know you're a Sanchez guy. This has got to be a really tough moment here. We're waiting for more updates and clarity here, but certainly this was not a good sign last night.
We got a little bit of clarity just a little bit before the show where he said he's feeling tremendously better. So that's a really good sign that, like you could get the AJ Puck where it's like, hey, he's going for 74 different opinions. MRIs and 12 different opinions. It's just like, no, he felt good. The diagnosis early on felt like it was going to be bad. Velo was down. There's been a lot of stress and change with him as a pitcher over the last couple of years. This year, trying to add that cutter, which, by the way, we don't really see that he was throwing unless Baseball Savant was designating the slider as a cutter, which it probably was. But everything was down by a mile per hour. He says he feels really good. So fingers crossed. But, if we do see that right there, second opinion or whatever, then it's just then we're done. We're done. But I don't think this is quite like Justin Steele range yet. I'm optimistic that he felt a lot better, but this would be absolutely brutal. I don't care about like Ranger Suarez coming back, like losing Chris Sanchez.
Suarez is a nice
brutal.
Pitcher. Look, all right. The Phillies are an interesting spot here, which brings us to today's Chasing Challenges segment, brought to you by Microsoft. Just like the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible, business decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities, and Microsoft meets you where you are with tools and guidance to help you make an impact with safe, secure AI solutions. So whatever challenges you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say, bring it on. And in this segment, we're going to spotlight the challenges faced by the Philadelphia Phillies right now. So the last thing you want here is to have Christopher Sanchez have an injured situation where he could miss some time or even maybe extended time again. He says he feels tremendous. We'll see when everything gets checked out. You already have Ranger Suarez on the IL. Aaron Nola hasn't pitched very well. Wheeler has been up and down to start the year. Thank goodness for Jesus Luzardo. The big question mark is the 5th starter. Well, he's been pretty spectacular in this rotation so far for the Phillies. But there's just something going on with the Phillies when I watch them right now, that the spark, the fire in this team looks like it's out a little bit. Alec Boehm struggling again this year. The Phillies are a fiery bunch with a PH, and they have been for the last couple years. I think something happened to them mentally in that series against the Mets where they had them on the ropes. They couldn't finish them off. And next thing you know, these giant moments where the bullpen just handed over wins to the Mets. The Phillies look to me like a team that got punched in the mouth and is still staggering around, and they don't look sharp to me at all. Now, that could change. It's only April, so we're going to monitor this thing. But I'm just saying right now, the Phillies better find their fight, and they better find it quickly because Spencer Strider will be back in a few weeks again, and Ronald Acuna will be back in a few weeks, and the Mets are already where they are, and the Nats are going to be plucky. I'm not saying the Phillies are in trouble. I'm saying the Phillies just don't look like they have the same edge that they've had in previous seasons. And that, my friends, is today's Chasing Challenges segment. Remember, Microsoft AI solutions empower you to take bold steps and, of course, help develop new ideas to drive your businesses forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challengers to learn more.
One thing I'm going to add. Get in there.
It.
Yes, thank you. You were going right to me because I was going to add something.
Oh, woo!
I'm just trying to get in there. Sometimes I'm like, it's like it's
not painter time. I heard everybody talking about painter. It's nowhere near painter time.
But for me, it's a sport to see if I can get right in between Joe going.
We're getting paid for this, Reed. I've got to do the read in this.
I wanted you to get through it. I just wanted to get in right at the end. I did look here. 2 semi-updates on Kris Sanchez. On Kris Sanchez, they said right out the chute, there was an expectation of no structural damage in his forearm, only tightness. So then this morning he says he feels better. And they're also not scheduling an MRI because of that, according to the team doctor. He's not going to pitch the next start. Doesn't look like he's going to go on the IL, or maybe they do just a quick one for roster construction. But they're not even scheduling an MRI because it is just tightness. So whatever, there's people in there, someone in the comments, funny, they were just like, you never have a player say like, I'm jacked up or whatever. It's like, yeah, but they also wouldn't speak. So he said he feels good, only tightness. Maybe it's tiny little sigh of relief for Kris Sanchez. Little baby one.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I know. You're like Garrett Cole. Everything was great with Garrett Cole.
Everything was fine. Everything's going to be fine. I'm sure it's all going to work out well. AJ Puck, I'm sure it's multiple opinions. I'm sure they're all going to be awesome.
They're all bad.
For his Corey Seager left Tuesday's game. Stop me if you heard this one before, with hamstring tightness. This is why I can't draft Corey Seager every year. I just stay away from him. I had him a couple years ago, and it was and he was so good when he was on the field, and it was just so frustrating when he was not, and I just can't do it anymore to myself. Blake Snell, bullpen session today, actually, so we'll get you an update on that tomorrow. Mark Vientos back in the lineup with that groin injury. He hit a double. He looked good. By the way, in that same game, Juan Soto hit a laser at second base. He is going to be breaking out any second now because he is hitting lasers right now. It's just some bad luck. Brian Bayo, 1 run, 5 innings in his return and a win over the Mariners. And Jack Leiter, who dealing with that blister, 4 strikeouts, 4 2/3. So when do you expect Jack Leiter back for the Rangers, Welsh, after this 4 2/3 outing on Tuesday?
I'd imagine that. I mean, I guess it's more team context. I would say if you can go 4 2/3 off of this start with not having like a major miss time, maybe for the next start, so maybe we would get him for, I guess it would line up to like early next week. Possibly they want one more. I would say either way, it looks like at some point next week, you would get Jack Leiter back in the rotation.
All right. Question here from Big Dance. Are you starting Peralta in San Francisco? Of course I am.
Yes.
Freddie Peralta does not come out of my rotation. Period. End of story. Life or death. Is Ozzy and Kurtz an overpay for Yordan Alvarez?
So you're trading Albies and Kurtz for... No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No,
would you make that trade if you had Alvarez, though? I don't think I would.
I would not trade away Alvarez for Ozzy and Kurtz. No, not unless it was a keeper. But no, I definitely even wouldn't do that. What am I saying? No, absolutely not. No context.
What am I saying?
Crazy.
What's happening here?
Silliness.
Crazy talk. Crazy. Michael, saw Soderstrom on your trade video. Yes, you did. And again, there's very specific terms of that Soderstrom trade. What starting pitcher do you think you could get for him? Could you get Chris Sale for him right now?
I don't think
the way
so.
Sales pitch? I don't think so.
That's kind of my argument. I keep going with Soderstrom. Like, I just don't think like where he's at and what he's looking like as a pitcher or as a hitter,
Kirby,
that it's going to line up. Maybe, that would be one that I think is kind of interesting. But I don't know. That's a great question. What can you get for him? He's a weird one, Mr. Grinch. It's all going to be about your league. You're going to have to tell us what it is. We can't tell you. I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I think Joe's a tiny bit more open to it. I'm going to be a real pain in the ass if I'm trading away my Soderstrom. So I'm probably not getting something done. So it's very league contexty for a guy like Tyler Soderstrom. Everyone's going to want you to take, Randy Suarez is coming back. He's pretty good, right? Like they're going to try to sell you on that. No one's going to want to pay up for it. And I think that's what you should do if you're selling Soderstrom.
You know what else we should do? Place some bets. It's times for the best bets
of today.
That's right, with Joey P and the Welsh. Let's look at Chandler Simpson again at plus money for stolen bases. This is like stealing money. Do it again. This is what we're doing. Brent Rooker driving a run. I'm just going all in here on the Athletics and the Rangers again because Joey P likes this ballpark. Brent Rooker, RBI plus 165. Wyatt Langford back healthy, swinging a good bat. Big night yesterday. Let's have a big one today too. RBI plus 135. But the Simpson one, once again, I just feel like we're in a spot where when there's plus money on this with this guy, you're just going to keep taking it until the books figure it out. Welsh, you're going to start with Miami and Cincinnati today for your bets.
By the way, you're loving those RBI bets right now. I dig it.
I am.
Plus money. Cashing, baby.
Well, you think of it this way, right? Good players are going to drive in around 100 runs. You play 150 something games usually for these guys. They sit a couple. It's a pretty good ratio. That's 2/3 of the time there's an opportunity for an RBI at plus money. I like those odds.
60% of the time it works. Every time. I love it. Right. I'm going with I'm going with the no-run first inning. Pretty quick here off of Miami and Cincinnati. This is just backing Sandy Alcantara and Brady Singer. Brady Singer, a little bit more of a ground ball pitcher. Sandy can do the same thing. Both these teams are bottom 15 in runs scored through the first inning. There's obviously some inherent risk, but I really like this one as far as no runs if you want to play that. We talked a lot about the Phillies, the Mets having the number. Well, Zach Wheeler is on the mound today. I'm going to go first 5 Philly money line, little juicy, but I really like the prospects of Zach Wheeler out there. Frankly, you might even be able to, you got a lefty on for the Mets and Peterson. You might even be able to play more of an under through the first 5, but I'm going to go with Philly on the money line. So if they're tied, I push. If Philly is up, I win. That's the name of the game. I win. And I'm going to go with Eduardo Rodriguez, 5.5 strikeouts. It is plus money. It is not plus 140. It is plus 110. Plus 140 would be awesome. But maybe there are some books, maybe even FanDuel you can go and check out when you use our code. But Eduardo Rodriguez has been lighting up some big strikeout games. As a matter of fact, he went up against his last start was up against the Marlins. He struck out 9. I believe it was 12 and 9 in his last 2 starts. And he has been pretty dang dominant as far as strikeouts go. Against lefties, Rays are at the bottom of OPS versus. They're one of the worst, a little over a 25% K percentage versus lefties right now. So it's a pretty decent one. We're going over because, yes, it is also over. I see that that's not listed on there. Over 5.5 strikeouts for Eduardo Rodriguez against the Rays.
There you go, everybody. And don't forget, if you like some free money there, go to FantasyPros.com/leading off. New customers place $5 bet. You get $250 in bonus bets when you win. Right now, over at FanDuel with FantasyPros.com/leading off. Go use the promo code. All right, let's get to the big board and see how it's going. Sammy Sosa jersey still available for the winner. Far out, edging up to 13 home runs now. Marty and Cookie at 12. Razor Ramon at 12. The Welsh still on the board in the top 10 at 9. So proud of my boy. I'm manifesting today, Welsh. So if you want to join the Discord and manifest with me, you can call your home run calls right now in our Discord, FantasyPros.com/chat. I'm going with Nick Kurtz, plus 560 to go yard. Let's go right out of the gate. You had your orientation yesterday. You had your, your cheese and crackers and your sippy cup and everything. You had your orientation day, and now it's time to be a big boy. Put your big boy home run pants on and go out and hit me some dingers, Welsh. That's what I want from Nick Kurtz. Welsh, where are you going for your home run call today?
You're just a villain to Nick Kurtz now. It's crazy.
I love Nick Kurtz. It's not Nick Kurtz's fault.
Okay. It's the coddling. It's the coddling generation. All right, I got it. By the way, if you guys want to come and do your home run calls in Discord, you can also join me and Joe Rico today. We're going to be live on the Discord. YouTube, you're too late, but if you want to put a little pin in it, we have been doing it at 2 p.m. Eastern. Probably going to do that for a couple more weeks or at least a week, and then we might change times. But Discord, FantasyPros.com/chat. You can join the Discord for free. There's a bunch of access to cool stuff. Joe Rico and I will be live at 2 p.m. Eastern answering questions, and you could be on the show if you want as well, so you could do that. But on the home run call, I am going to go with my boy Wilyer Abreu. He is almost 4-1 on FanDuel if you want to play the home run call. He's going up against Emerson Hancock, who stinks, and Wilyer Abreu does not stink. Great on the kind of a strong side, platoony type of guy, but he has been dominant, hitting right around 300, 3-hit day yesterday. Wilyer Abreu, let's get to the double digits in the homers.
McGrady, I've got Nick Kurtz shares. I'm not a bush, okay? I'm the guy that was crushing the home run competition last year. I didn't pick any. I was on vacation last week. Relax. It's April, okay? I'm like Juan Soto. I'm just hitting lasers right now. Eventually, they'll all start to fall into place.
So are you saying right now that we are going to see you on this board at some point this year?
Is that a challenge, Welsh?
That is
It
a
feels like
challenge. That's a challenge.
Well,
Will
I've
we
got-
see
I
Joey P
believe-
on the board? I think you have 2 or 3.
I have
max.
2 or 3. Wonky might be able to tell me. She knows the facts there. I want to say it's 2. It might be 3 home runs, but yeah, I think I can get on that board. Show me the board again. Show me the board. What's the low part of the board? I have 3. Thank you, Wonk.
And then
where
what
were
I'd
I?
love to
So what, 8? I need 5 more. All right. In the words of Barney Stinson, challenge accepted.
Okay,
coming
let's
for
do
you,
it.
board.
And guess what we'll do?
Because I can't win the Sosa jersey anyway, because I work here, so I'm not allowed to win it. I know last year I made the joke just because I wanted to upset Joe Arrico with the Vlad bat, that I wanted to just win it just so I could have it and then set it on fire and be just a horrible person. But now it's like I had no motivation. But now, you know what? Well, she gave me some motivation.
Well, here's what we can do. How about in the YouTube comments? Let's see what should be the stakes. You guys let us know what the stakes are if Joey can get on there. YouTube on this episode. So if you're watching live, make sure to jump over to the YouTube. What are the stakes for Joe to get there? And if he doesn't get there, what's the punishment?
I think Wonky's wrong. Wonky's saying if she wins it, she's taking the jersey and sending a gift card to second place. Like, I mean, I don't know. You're going to have to talk to HR about that one, Wonk. I
might take it too, though. Or what I might do is I will have ownership of it, and then I get to figure out who it goes to after that. So
don't forget, everybody, Wednesday today and every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, YouTube channel, Welsh, myself, of course, Joe Rico and Welsh, 2 p.m. on our Discord. Get your questions answered. Get everything set up for your week of fantasy baseball. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you next time, kids. When I was young, we didn't have designated hitters. Oh, all you gotta do is go hit. That's all you gotta do. We had to pitch, we had to hit, and then afterwards we'd go out there and we would have to mow the grass. And then we'd have to serve hot dogs. We were men.